let's say 6 years, and in that time I've compiled quite a few lists. So if anyone's ever looking for some lists or looking for a place to start at the very least, certainly don't feel that you can't contact me, and I can share with you kind of where my thinking goes to, particular lists. And certainly I don't have all lists, but I have probably 500 saved lists on Easy Army. So having a place to start is sometimes great, especially if you're not sure about the units, or really kind of get overwhelmed. Because looking at Easy Army is great, but a lot of times players can get confused. What do I need to take? What's mandatory? Should I be taking this? And how does this work with this unit? And it's nice to have a place to really bounce ideas, on paper kind of thing, or online. But sometimes having a good framework, like a base starting list, or some sort of framework to go on is nice. So it'd be cool if we could, I don't know, a bunch of people maybe jump on to some, so I don't know, like TeamSpeak or Skype or something like that, and just have some a list session where you just kind of banter back and forth. And we do that on the ETC team, and that's a great way to, I'm thinking about this, what do you guys think about this? Because everybody kind of brings in their own perspective, their own history of play, their own sort of war stories, like, oh, well, I crushed that unit, or I remember the time that ambushed me and just wiped out my platoon, or I had a really hard time assaulting this group in a defensive position, or I ran over them with my mounted assault, and things like that. It's great to have a venue to share that stuff, and certainly this is kind of a one-way conversation of me talking about that, but if I get some questions, then I might be able to compile those and sort of give my own experience, and my own kind of stories, and certainly I can't remember all the games I've played because I've played way too many, but questions kind of rekindle my memory, and I'm able to comment about certain games that I've played, and certainly talk about that stuff. And it's fun to talk about the crushing defeats, and the narrow victories. So I like to share that stuff. So I'm just continuing on with this, so you guys can see that this is a pretty tedious process, and it takes a little bit of work just to do this stuff, and obviously there's some more things to do even after you get the icicles laid in there. And I'm going to, over the course of the evening, attempt to talk and make videos for this entire house, so you guys will either be bored to tears or have some enjoyment out of watching me struggle to finish this building. I'm just adding the icicles here. I'm just kind of pushing them right against the building. Just here I find it just gives a little bit better base of contact. So, and then you can kind of see the ice in contrast to the, well, you probably can't see, but you can see the ice in contrast to the rest of the building, and hopefully that will focus in so you guys can see that there. So that's what's up in this next little process. And then I will, once I finish this, I'll let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to put the snow down, and then I'll let that dry. Obviously I'm not going to make you guys watch the building as it dries, but I'll come back after each stage, and we can have a look at each step. I won't really call it a how-to, I'll just call it a ramble and kind of work as I go. So what else was I going to talk about? I was watching some more Flames of War videos. Everybody's putting up tons of stuff, lots of comments, really good ones. People are enjoying the project and asking about next projects coming up, and I dread to think about future projects because I always get pressured when I'm working to finish one and get started on the next, and trying to balance my time. And this is long overdue, and the guy that owns this table is probably going to be quite happy when I finish and probably say, like, it's about time you got this done. If he wasn't a friend of mine, I would be really worried about the amount of time I took to do this, but I was a little intimidated to start this project because I've never done a snow table, and again, because he's a friend of mine, I wanted to make sure I did a really good job, because you're only as good as your reputation, and besides being incredibly slow, so far I think I got a fairly good reputation as a builder, and that I'd like to keep if I can. And I'm not going to do that if I'm rushing projects out the door, and I, like I said, don't do this as a living, so I see no need to rush and do a poor job. And certainly for my good friend, I would never send something to him that I wasn't happy with. And being happy is relative, because I'm never 100% satisfied with anything I do. So I'm always looking to improve on things, but it's the best at the time. And if I get better, great. And that only works to make the next customer better off. So basically, you always, I guess if I give you any advice, you always want to be my next customer, and that way you can ensure you're getting something cool. And speaking of cool, not that this is of much interest, but where am I on camera here? I just put some ice over the door, and I like a little narrative on pieces, and you can kind of see how that's sort of hanging down on one side of the door, so it kind of looks pretty neat. You wouldn't want to necessarily walk out underneath that, but it just so happens that that worked out pretty nicely in there. So it's the little things that interest me, and nobody will ever see that outside of this video. So whatever. But little things like that as a modeler make me smile, because it's got a really cool narrative to that piece. And if you're looking for narrative, you check out GB's Fallschirmjäger bases that he's doing, because they are awesome, and I really want to steal all of them. I mean, have some bases like that, and some Fallschirmjäger. I got some for my concrete piper, but nothing near the size of his paratrooper force, Fallschirmjäger force. So I'm not sure if you guys heard that in the background, but that is the dinner bell ringing. So I must go eat supper. I will leave that to dry. I'll leave you guys to watch these videos, and I will be back this evening with some more modeling for you. And that's probably been out of focus for the last 5 minutes, but there you go. So this side is I think done. I think I'm going to leave the rest, and next I'm going to swap over and do this side here. I'll probably do that before I come back on camera, and then I'll get to the snow. So thanks for listening to the long ramble, guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy these. This is what I'm going to do for the next day or so. It just helps me stay in studio and kill some time. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.